So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the moment you've been waiting for, the man, the myth, the legend, the hypest commentator in the biz as of right now. Here he is, the tastiest, the crispest, the most refreshing as well. Here is Sinkola.
You there?
Oh, we're in here.
All right.
There you are, man. How's it going?
I am tired. You can still hear my voice. Sounds like I just hit puberty. But I'm here.
Hell yeah, dude. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know it's like hella early. Like, this is probably the earliest an FGC show has ever been at this point.
11:30 a.m. Woo!
And especially in the West Coast, what is it, like 9 o'clock over there, 9:30? Ain't nobody awake for that. First of all, thank you so much for being here. Here's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about Combo Breaker this past weekend, right? It was the last Street Fighter V major before the Big Six. And, you know, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but, like, myself included, and I can only assume yourself included, like, Street Fighter V was a game that, like, kind of impacted our lives quite a bit. So it's bittersweet transition in a way. Now that the game has lived its life, it had a really rough start, but, like, how do you feel the game is now with Street Fighter V, especially with this last tournament, man? How are you feeling?
Personally, I think this is my favorite Street Fighter V game. Like, I think this Street Fighter V game, favorite fighting game. All right. I think the balance has been perfect. You know, obviously Luke is problematic, Sim is, but we compare it to other games in the past, way, way, way better, right? So I think all that, plus like V-Shift, V-Break, the meta changing, and the diversity we see at like high level. We saw Seth win Evo Japan. Yes, Luke did win Capcom Cup, but it was like a million Lukes. Most Lukes even lost before they got the top 8. And then, like at Street Fighter League Japan, like there was only one Luke at the finals, and like the Luke teams were not even there. So I think the game, even though it had issues, can't even talk. It was amazing. Like I personally landed on my favorite fighting game, like of all time, like at the very end.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, we were watching the finals of Combo Breaker, and how does it feel to have your Midwest homie win the final showdown against, you know, IDOM, you know, one of the most dominating people in the last couple of years?
So this is problematic because Ultra Day returned to me. He said, I want you to close it out. You know, this is your home turf, you know, close it out, the big moment. I said, all right. And so the big moment comes, and I'm commentating it. And while I'm commentating it, I'm getting choked up because, like, David winning is huge. You know, it's massive, you know. So I think, like, it feels poetic. Like, it's supposed to happen a little bit. Maybe it's biased, but Just a Kid winning, Combo Breaker, you know, after all these big wins that he's had, me commentating it in the mid-best, you couldn't ask for a better story.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, we saw your pop off on the stream. We were watching the reverse, and like you were just back there, like it looked like you were about ready to punch someone in the face out of happiness. So Arctic Charo actually has a question here that I was about to ask.
Okay.
What has changed in the Midwest that caused like such a huge growth, right? Like, because now the Midwest, you know, you have people like Brian F, you have yourself, you have you know, Marine, you have like a lot of commentators and a lot of players who are coming out of the Midwest, whereas it feels like in the past, you know, there was just like the, you know, the stereotypical coastal elites, as it were,
right?
So like, what happened?
I really think that, like, I mean, it depends on like what area that you're asking for. So like for commentary, for me, it was, you know, the fact that there was a need that needed to be filled. Like, we had commentators, but people that didn't dedicate their time. That was something that was like, hey, Saint, you should do commentary on this, or we need somebody for this to be on the mic. And so I ended up, and other people too as well, filling needs, and then it just grew from there. And of course, the Midwest is so close knit that it's like, hey, let me help you either get these jobs, or hey, you could do this, you know, always giving people like, you know, respect and stuff like that, and trying to push them to be the best they can be. And that also that part does feed into, you know, playing. We do have a lot of great players. You know, Mike Yo, rest his soul, almost took down Tokido at Combo Breaker, before COVID. Ramsey, like, he was in like top 8 of a CPT, and the only reason that he didn't participate further was because he had to get his flight, and he ended up being 9th, I believe, or just shy of 8th at Combo Breaker this year. So we have a lot of strong competitors. And Classico, when he was focused, he was at Street Fighter League doing work. So we have a lot of good competitors. It's just like, the lull. Sometimes you have to have a lull. Like the passion just dies down a little bit for a competition. And COVID kind of hurt that. But with 6, I'm seeing a lot of old heads come back, seeing a lot of people come back and really start to not do the thing where they come back and they're rusty and they make, waves, but actually like commit the time and become landmines. Because there are people that, like GLB, for example, almost took down GamerB at Evo. And GamerB was like, who is this Ryu player? If GLB at practice, now I'm not OSing, but if GLB at practice, timeline would be mad different. So I feel like it's that Midwest, once we get going, momentum, it's hard to stop us.
Hell yeah. And you brought up 6, so let's talk about 6, man. Gut instinct feeling after playing, the betas and the network tests and everything. How are you feeling about 6?
Hey man, the reviews are in. IGN, Gamer Geek Squad or whatever. They're all saying 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 at minimum. I think it's gonna be great. I think first of all, I woke up this morning, I was like, there are so many good scores for a fighting game. I couldn't even believe it. And it was hard for people to actually find something to complain about. So that's a good sign on the casual front. On the hardcore front, I think it's gonna be a fantastic game. I know I said that 5 is like my favorite game, but 6, the way the elements are, and the way it's a little bit more towards being aggressive, I love it. I think this is going to be a fantastic game. I think this actually may be even more my wheelhouse than 5 was. And it's feature rich. The gameplay is there. And it feels like, even with the characters that are weaker, it feels like there's a lot of system mechanics to help out to prevent them from being useless. Like even with Jamie, not being able to deal with fireballs, you have parry. You can parry OS now. And I want to see how that, plays out in the full meta. But I think overall, it's not impossible to fight fireball characters with Jamie, and I think that's gonna be how it is with this entire game. Like the system mechanics of parry, drive, impact, rush, and stuff like that will let you stay in the game, and that's a really good sign. So I'm excited. I think it's gonna be great.
Hell yeah! And we were talking about this earlier in the show today. The fact that they're focusing not on the FGC is hilariously enough the best thing for the FGC, right?
Yeah. Kind of is.
Yeah, having the casual audience come in. And I don't know if you heard that. I forget where I had heard this. I think it was either in like one of the developer interviews. But the fact that like the World Tour mode is the game, like the regular RPG, like 21st century game. And the end game is taking it online and going to the Battle Hub. So like I can't wait to see like, how many people are going to come out of the woodwork and just like wreck all of the old heads and the new heads.
Yes.
Who are you looking to main? Like, you got any favorites already?
I'm so sorry to say this to all of you, but I might be a sim player. I might be a sim player. I see the grapplers, their hands, they've been landed. I don't like it. I've been seeing Geef with drive impact and drive rush. I've been seeing Honda be strong. This has to stop. And if I have to pick up sim, I'll do it. Sim he looks cool. So does JP. Honestly, I want to also play Ken because I think I'm more of an aggressive player. So I think Ken, even if they do tone some things down with him, I think he'll be always a solid pick. But there's so many characters that I almost want to play the majority of the cast. DJ too as well. It's hard to find a character I don't want to play. I just personally will never play Geef or Blanca. Like that, I'll never go that far. I'll never hit that rock bottom. That's me personally.
Never say never.
I'd rather just stop playing Street Fighter than play those characters. But I will say that like it's a good sign that I want to play a lot of characters. Usually, like I personally have character crisis when I think the game is really fun because I'll look at a character and be like, I wish I could do that. Look at another character, I wish I could do that because it's like a good sign of like the game being fleshed out and fun as hell. I went with that with Guilty Gear, Street Fighter 5, and I suspect I'll have a character crisis with this one. Let me ask you, who are you playing?
So, I played mostly Ryu for the betas and the tests, just because that's Ryu, right? That's right. The only character I could kind of figure out how to play, and I'm someone who is a character specialist, right? I pick one character and I go with him. With that said, though, there's a part of me that thinks I was going to be a Lily player, and there's a part of me that thinks I was going to be a Manon player. There's another part of me that thinks I'm going to be a Marissa player.
Oh no, it's happening. The character crisis.
Yeah, so
it's affecting you.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a weird discovery process, right? Especially after playing the betas, where like I could see myself playing Ryu too. I was having a lot of fun. But I think the stuff I was doing, like it got to a point where I was getting frustrated with a couple of things that were out of my control. So I'm curious to see if I pick other characters, if I'll have either more fun or less fun losing. So I'm honestly thinking Manon's gonna be the one, right? Because I'm a Karen player, so like seeing gigantic buttons, that's right up my alley. So that might be where I'm going.
Her anti-air is insane. Like I think it's crouch heavy punch, I believe. It knocks you down, hard knockdown, and that strike throw stuff. Like she looks like she could be really good. But I feel like the negative frames. If you miss a hit grab or whatever, it's full punish and stuff, and that she's allowed negative buttons in general. But hey, like I think all the characters look good. This is you said, except for Giffen, Blanca. But that's just me. That's just me.
No, I agree. The fact that they gave Blanca like the mini, like the homie like move or whatever, like the mini Faust, like that I think has like already started like the indigestion for when the game comes out. It's gonna be rough. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to Dallas this coming weekend. You're going to be commentating one of the first Street Fighter 6 tournaments. Do you have any predictions? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, do you have any expectations? Like, I'm curious. I'm curious what's floating around in your brain, because like, I tried to think about what to expect, and I don't think I can expect anything. But I'm curious what you got thinking.
So like, first of all, from a commentary perspective, I don't know enough about the game right now to drop, oh, I know this is going to be this. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to hang out with the chat, and we're going to learn together. But I think, like, in that essence, like, it'll be a fun time just to kind of, like, learn on the fly and then see what's going on and be like, you could do that? Say that about a million times, because we've seen a lot of things at firsthand, besides, obviously, the other 8 characters. And I feel like the changes, too, will also make things different. Like, we saw Luke get a new move and stuff like that. So I think the actual, like, the tournament, and like for me, it will be hard to commentate normally, so it'll just be a hangout session. The second thing is that I don't know, maybe some certain people have had a little bit longer access for whatever reason. We won't mention why. Might do good, or they might not, because you have another set of 8 characters that you don't know how to play against. And some people are fast learners. Like Li Joe's like an amazingly fast learner. We've seen him, every dang year of every game just get that on the fly. So I think there'll be some people that are just like really, really good at just like, okay, I've molded with this character. I've spent like 72 hours and I'm not going, or not 72 hours, I guess a couple hours, and I'm not going to show this tech on Twitter at all and blow up people. I think it's going to be clown shoes. I think this big tournament with 10K is going to be nasty. There's going to be no neutral. People are going to be sweaty. They're going to be mashing impact. They're going to be praying that their drive, rush overhead works. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see people panicking to get them dollars.
Hell yeah. And actually, you brought up a really good point. Like, what's the difference of approaching something as a player and approaching something as a commentator? Like, as a player, like, what would be the first thing that you do? And as a commentator, what's going to be the first thing that you do in the new game?
I think as a player, for me, like, my approach is to learn. Because, like, for me as a player, like, I'll play and I'll find something. If I don't know, then I go look it up and then like learn the match. Like, let's say I'm playing on rank and I lose. I will immediately go look at some videos and things like that, learn some matchups about, or learn like the matchup and how that stuff goes. If it's a commentator thing, I have to learn everything about the game. If you're a player, you don't have to know, or at least hope to know, like the maybe underrepresented characters. Like if there's not a lot of geek players in your pool, great. That's not practice that you have to deal with. For me, I don't know what's going to happen in pools. I can make a slight prediction on like top 16, top 8, and go from there, maybe top 32. But before that, I have to be ready for damn near anything as much as possible, right? So I think there's a wider breadth of knowledge that you have to have for commentary as a general thing, but you really have to drill things down to a minute fashion when it comes to being a player, because you're going to be playing that matchup and then seeing how that works out. And that means also maybe looking at how people play a character, or how they, maybe how this sim player plays a lot more aggressive, or this one has more movement, yada, yada. But, they do interflict though. I feel like there's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of like I need to learn everything, but I also need to learn those minute details. Sometimes depending on who's coming up. So, like with 6, it's obviously it's going to take all of us a long time to figure things out. So, I think the approach of if people out there want to be a commentator, the approach is to kind of approach it in both the player aspect and commentator aspect.
Gotcha. So, just out of curiosity, and you don't have to share this if this is like Michael Winslow was very famously like never shared how he did voices, right? So as a commentator, what goes into your research? I'm specifically super curious. Like, do you do a lot of matchup analysis? Like, do you go watch pro players play and then figure things out, or do you spend time in the game figuring out things first and then go do match analysis? Like, what does that look like for you?
It's a mix of a lot of things. Honestly, I don't mind sharing the secret sauce because it's just ingredients I've gotten from other commentators and other people, and just what I found that works along the way. What I generally do, like my day to day, is like I'll watch and also commentate over stuff as practice, like those replay YouTube videos and stuff. I'll practice over those, and then if there's things I don't know, I write down. The things I do know, I'll still write them down anyway. I've got a big document full of information. Obviously, I have FAT up at all damn times. I will, obviously use my own personal experiences on a lot of stuff too as well. But I talk to a lot of the players too. Like I'll go into players and their chats, ask questions. Hell, I'll argue with Problem X and learn a lot. Even if I lose the argument, I'm still learning a ton. So having, I don't want to say it's always debates, but discussions with like high level players, being not afraid to ask them questions and continuously having conversations with them, help build up my knowledge with the quickness. Even during COVID, that was really what helped me, was being like, well, what do you think about this matchup? Because even if they're wrong, you have another idea of something and it gives you another perspective. So all those things mixed together with, my own replay analysis and all that stuff like that, a lot of work, that stuff is how I have enough knowledge to be able to commentate and such too. And then I put my own, obviously, original spin on it.
Yeah, for sure. This is a question I usually ask everybody that comes in here, and I'm super curious about your answer. How did you find out that the FGC was a thing? Like, how did you know that you have a local you can go to? How did that discovery happen?
So for me, I used to be in a place 3 hours away from Chicago, actually, and we had a very, very small scene. We had Aladdin's Arcade and stuff like that. I'm old as hell. If y'all don't know, I'm 35 years old. I'm a little bit ancient. So there used to be a place called Aladdin's Arcade, and we used to play there. We'd have 20 people or so, plus my friends of my age and some people that are older. And it's a very small town, and I would go online a lot and talk on IRC forums and stuff like that. Shoryuken, Game FAQs, Game Winners, all that garbage and stuff like that. But I didn't know there was an overarching FGC besides what was online until I went to Chicago. Until I moved to Chicago, and that was about, I didn't do the math here, 14 years ago. And I started going to Kevin Fair's monthlies and stuff like that, Gaming Under the Influence, just these wild FGC tournaments. And I started learning that there was, thankfully, an offline community of people that actually play the game and just want to chill and hang out and socialize. And then I finally found out that there was Ignite Gaming Lounge that was centered in Chicago, that was a weekly. And I was like, I'll go to this. It took me a little bit. Even though I'm an extrovert, it took me a little bit to be like, okay, let me go to these weekly events, because for everybody, it doesn't matter who you are, you might feel uncomfortable. You don't know everybody there. You might look like a fool losing. Let me tell you all that it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. They just want to help you in most places. But eventually, after a couple months, I was like, let me do this. So I went over to Ignite around the early days of Street Fighter V and just went every single damn week that I could, not only for commentary, but just to play and hang out. And right after work, I'd get off the bus and take another bus, and then go all the way over to Ignite. And that's how it really got going. In fact, I didn't even travel until 2017 or 18. My first tournament was SCR, actually. Yeah, 17. So it's SCR. That was my very first big major tournament outside of Illinois.
Gotcha. Dude, that's so interesting because and I love asking this question because that's something that I think a lot of people are having trouble with now, right? Finding their local scene. But for me, things wound up happening completely the opposite, where my first, I had never been to a weekly, right? Because I grew up in an area where weeklies didn't exist. I tried to search for it, never got it. But my first FGC experience was Winter Brawl 8 in 2013. So my first ever actual tournament was a major in Philly. So And if it wasn't for like meeting Spooky and like talking to Spooky and talking to Big E, like it was so overwhelming. And if it wasn't for those two, like that would have, like things would have been very different, I think.
Right. That's sick.
Yeah, I'm just super curious. Now we have about 6 minutes left, and I told the chat this earlier, but I have a challenge for you.
Okay.
Not fighting game related at all.
Oh no.
Here's the thing. Here's the deal.
All right.
I have a 6-minute video. It's a Japanese commercial that I find hilarious. Have you ever heard of the Long Long Man?
Yes.
Shit. Okay, hold on. Let me get another one.
I'm too tuned in. I'm online all the time. I'm terminally online.
Damn. You know what? Fuck it. We'll watch it anyway. I didn't have a backup prepared. Damn it. So my challenge to you is the 6 minutes of this arc of commercials. You are not allowed to laugh.
Not allowed to laugh?
Not allowed to laugh. If you laugh,
Stone face.
if you laugh, you lose. If you don't laugh and you win, I'll buy you a pizza. Your favorite pizza. Right? Because as you know, in Best of 5, currency here is pizza. So
you're on.
You're on? All right, sick. So here it is. I have the Long Long Man commercial pulled up. And we're going to watch this whole thing. We're going to try our best not to laugh. Because, and I pulled this up specifically because it catches you by surprise a couple of times.
Actually, I didn't see all the Long Long Man commercials. I've only seen a couple.
Okay. So
you might be a little new.
You're about to witness the entire arc.
All right.
And let me tell you, it's special.
それ触ってみてもいいですか？
どうぞ。
Uh-oh.
長い。これどうやって咲くんですか？
こんな風に。
ダメ。
すいません。
Uh-oh.
避ける組対長い避ける組。
電話出ないから心配になって。
ちょっと寝込んでて。
これ持ってきたから一緒に食べよう。
今日は。ちょっと待って、今はダメ。
Uh-oh. Oh no.
あいつが来てたんだ。違うの。
避ける組対長い避ける組。
ちゃん、どうして俺じゃなくてこいつなんだ。
Damn it!
I figured this was gonna get me. He gets the small one, tries to stretch it out.
It's him just tackling. And what?
だから長いものを見ると安心できるの。
避ける組対長い避ける組。
It's that like your reaction is uh-oh.
It's all right. We still have 3 minutes of it. Let's keep it going.
Run it, keep running it. Damn. Chat lost too. I know y'all lost too. Stop.
Oh, everybody lost. It's impossible.
避ける組一袋分並べていくと、ほら。
Oh man. They were the same all along.
The same all along. Wait, didn't she die?
Yeah, I guess they skipped that part.
ちいちゃん聞いてもいい？
何？
プロポーズってどんな風にされたい？
Oh, talking about proposals now?
フラッシュモブは嫌かな。なんかこっぱずかしいし、フラッシュモブ以外。
What happened to Longman?
Oh, there he is.
Oh. Oh.
These commercials are so sick.
He's back.
ちいちゃん。
ダメ。結婚式までお預け。
Oh, bodied.
おやすみ。
Dang. She got a candy addiction and you can't even get a kiss?
Bodied.
どちらまで？
There he is.
He's back.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay.
すいません。やっぱり忘れられない。
避ける組対長い
So,
避ける組。
so was it? It was just a piece of candy the entire time.
It was a piece of candy the entire time.
Unless.
Oh.
Hold up. Unless.
Oh boy.
Oh, he's real. So he's actually real.
There he is with the bouquet and everything. Damn. On the wedding day?
私長い間
バディ
ずっと待ってたの。トールさんごめんなさい。私のことは忘れて。
Please forget about me.
私はひどい女なの。
ああもうやだ
And this poor dude.
どうしていつも俺の前に現れるんだよ一目見た時から君のことが
Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh.
Wait. What?
Mix up.
Dang. The whole time?
The whole time.
The whole time.
The mix up.
What?
トール君俺嘘だろ
高いったのに。どうして？
僕らはきっと分かり合える触ってみてもいいですかきっと
Hello?
みんな分かり合える避ける組
Hey, yo.
Bodied.
長い
Horrible woman got bodied.
Dang. I never saw the ending of that.
That's the
What
ending.
in the hell? And didn't she die?
Yeah, so she apparently she has an affinity for longer things because her life is short, but then she still got married. Well, I guess I don't know what's going to happen after that, but
You know what? Good on them. Hope they have a fun marriage and relationship. And bro, that's what. What?
dude, it's a mix
How long
up,
do
man.
these commercials go out for? Like, were they like?
I have no idea. I just find like these like long ass like full like payoff at the very end commercials so damn funny. I'll still send you a pizza gift card as a participation prize. Don't you worry.
Dang, I'm so tight. I feel so tight. What? It was you going. There they go, and I'm like, that's it. I'm bodied. That's it. It's over for me. It's absolutely over for me.
Oh
Damn.
man. All right, final question before we let you go because it's a little over time. I'm so sorry for holding you 3 minutes.
No,
over
you're
at
fine.
this
You're
point.
fine.
Arctic Shadow in our chat asked a question here. A long time ago, I'm gonna be every time I say long now, it's gonna be long, and it's gonna get me.
Long. Okay, go ahead.
Ultra Chen ran a commentator cup a while back. Do you think it's time for another one? And where do you think you would place?
I think it's time for another one 100%. I wasn't able to go to the other one because some things had gotten in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, family issues were happening during that time, so I wasn't able to participate. But yeah, I think it's time for another one. Where would I place? Actually, it's a new game, so I don't know. I don't know. I think this because the netcode's so good, and because I can play people from around the world, I think I'd have a decent shot at maybe not going 0-2, But either way, I do myself plan to grind a lot, so I plan to play a lot. So hey, if you're out there, you see me streaming, and as long as you're not on the Wi-Fi, because Capcom will tell on you now. Thank God. I'm willing to play. I'll be down to play anybody and just learn, because I feel like, maybe I won't be at the top, but hopefully I won't go 0-2. But I think that would have to invite like every commentator, and then maybe I won't go 0-2.
Yeah, who do you think would win? Who do you think?
Who do I think would win? Oh man, honestly, someone from EU. It'd probably be Jammers. Jammers has gotten top 8s. He's won, I believe, Assault Mine, or I got top 3. I would probably say Jammers is like the best commentator player. If you include Rob, I think he's the best. Also, if you include Japan, I think Aru might be better than everybody, to be honest, because he is ridiculously good from what I hear. What I've seen too, he's like Grandmaster Zeku. So I think it'd be like Rob and Aru grand finals if it was like a worldwide one. Yeah, I would, because just looking at like recent stuff that players have done. Yeah, I'd say that.
Hell yeah, dude! I'd be super interested in that happening. I hope it happens. Yeah. Saint, dude, thank you so much for stopping by. I told the chat the story about how on Saturday I was feeling a little down, and you gave me a little pep talk. And the fact that you're so willing to like lift other people up shows how passionate you are about fighting games and about the scene and everything. So know that you're truly appreciated.
Thank you.
Do you have any? First of all, plug your stuff. Like, where can people see your Twitch? Like, where do people see your stuff?
Okay, so I guess Twitter is @_Saint Colo. I would suggest not following me. I shitpost a lot. If you want to see me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Saint_Cola. I stream. I'll start streaming more. I don't have a schedule. I'll just start saying I'll stream a lot more. So keep it locked on there. I'm gonna build up a YouTube. I think it's @SaintCola, like youtube.com/@SaintCola. You'll find it on my Twitter. I'll be doing a lot more content with TNS. And also you'll find me on TNS and a million other things. I plan to do, obviously, as you said, DreamHack this weekend. That's going to be sick. The next week, there's going to be a tournament called Run the Mix that's happening that, you saw, Rick announced right after Street Fighter V Finals. I'll be out there doing commentary as well. I think with Marine. I'm not sure. We'll figure that out. Then I'll be at CEO, and then I'll be at damn near everything, hopefully commentating. But some things are confirmed, some things are not. But I plan to travel regardless. Like, DTN. I'll be at DTN. Get on my level, first attack. I'm going out to Evo no matter what. CEO Taku still, because I still like Guilty Gear. I still want to play Guilty Gear. God, the list goes on. Wherever there's going to be an event that's big and maybe even small, hell, maybe I'll be out there. I want to just swing through and just play and, be amongst the people. And, hey, when you said I'm about the FGC is why I'm here. Like, I've been lifted up by other people, put on by other people. Remember we did the interview last year, and even that was just great for helping push me my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, this is Saint Cola. So you have given me that respect. Why would I not give that respect back to you? And that's how the FGC should be. Maybe it's not all the time, but that's how it should be.
No, I agree 100%, man. And I appreciate you saying that too. I hella appreciate you. Actually, since you brought up Guilty Gear, what do you think of the new guy, the Asuka guy? Have you gotten to play him at all?
I played him for an hour and a half, and I'm like, cool. I'm just going to have to put this controller down, get up a community college course, because I don't know what the hell's going on. There's ways to, it feels like there's like 4 or 5 moves, and they all have different variations, but the management and everything, like, I feel like on a perfect day, he's going to be very strong. On non-perfect days, maybe not so much. We'll have to see. I don't even know who would actually spend the time investing in him. You have to be a very big specialist. You can't. I don't know if you can play that character, that man, and play anything else. Like he seems like a full-time job. I think if someone does put in the time after a lot of months, I think he'd be strong. So if you're going to do that, I feel like you should do that now before the tour gets going, because of the qualifiers. Even though they are different, they're points-based and stuff, I feel like you want to do that ASAP.
For sure. Any final words for the chat here? Any words of wisdom?
Really, just love fighting games. I don't care how you love fighting games. You could love them because you love the music, the artwork, the gameplay. Focus on the games that you like. That's the best way to live in the FGC. And go offline. Please go offline. Anytime that you should feel down because there's a lot of stupid stuff happening on the Twitter space, just go offline. I went to Combo Breaker this weekend. It was like a family cookout with fighting games. It was fantastic. And it really reminded me of what I like about this scene. When you're on Twitter and people are acting wild and people will never see you and they'll never like meet up with you or whatever. They have that energy online. It makes you forget about how great it is to be a part of this scene sometimes. So if you can, please, whether it be a major, a local, or even just playing with your homies, play offline whenever you can to remind yourself the community part of the FGC.
Hell yeah. No, I 100% agree, man. And I was a Combo Breaker too, and it's the same thing, man. It always you always remind yourself why you like the FGC when you go offline, because it seems like there's the online FGC and the offline FGC, right?
It's very separate.
All right. Saint, thank you so much for being on the show. I'll be at CEO as well, so I'll definitely see you there at CEO. Yep. If I didn't have the content brain and was planning on staying home, I'd definitely be up in Dallas because it's a 4-hour ride. But I got the content brain, man. I got to stay home and play.
Do what you got to do at CEO. Let's link up
for sure. Hopefully, I'll be doing some commentary. So Planning on, man, after doing commentary at Texas Showdown, it's like I got the bug now. I got to do it more.
It's fun. Honestly, this stuff, you sit down, you get to hang out with it's just like you're chatting with the homies. Sometimes you can't see the chat, whatever, but it's like you're there just kicking it with your homie beside you, and you know that there are people around you, they're watching. Doesn't matter if there's 5 or 500, 5,000. It's just like you're in a crowd enjoying fighting games together. That's why, big reason why I do it.
Yeah, no, yeah, like you said, like it's just everybody getting excited about the same thing. It's awesome. It's awesome, dude. Thank you so much for stopping by. Best of luck. Safe travels to Dallas, and I'll catch you in Daytona in a couple weeks, yeah?
Yes, sir. See you
awesome,
there, brother.
dude. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much, man.
Peace, man. Bye.
Peace out.